We're in Clovis, California, and we're taking a look at the toilet here. This fill valve is stuck. You can see here, manually, this is supposed to, when the water level is down low, this is supposed to drop down by itself. You have to actually push it down. And then as it fills, this float moves up, and it shuts off. And so you can see, you have to push it and pull it. The float won't do anything. So we need to replace the fill valve. And then as far as the dripping down here goes, the problem we've got is, you can see, it's an integrated shutoff valve and supply line, all one piece. And more than likely, when we take this apart up here, that gasket's going to be gone, but you can't replace that, so the valve needs to be replaced. There's a third item as well. This tank is, you can see the movement. It's just rock. You can hear it right there. It's just rocking back and forth. So it's in pretty bad shape. I'm gonna give you a call. I just wanted to document. I'll give you a call, see what you want to do. But it seems like we don't want to set a toilet in here, obviously. But we can try and tighten those bolts down. Try and replace this, and then. But to leave this line there, probably gonna have trouble with it. So we're gonna have to replace this. Anyways, I just wanted to do a little video before we get started. Outside of that, this inspection is done. So we're still in Clovis, California. We just finished doing a repair on the toilet here. And basically just a flapper down below. The flush valve, which is this mechanism, it mounts to the tank at the very bottom. There's a gasket down there. And just from being old, that gasket was kind of like a big cauliflower all the way around the perimeter. So we just cleaned that off, cleaned off the opening, put a new flapper on. And so that works. This valve was sticking. So what we did, there's a part that connects to the bottom that we don't like. It's a separate chain that goes over, and it was locking into place. It was not functioning correctly, so it wasn't allowing this float to go up and down. So we removed that part, which means now this works. So if you see, drain some water here, and now that float drops down, so the water comes back on. And once that float, you can see it rising up and up. Once it gets to a certain point, it'll go ahead and shut the water off, and so now the water's off. So that's good. We did note that inside the tank, you can see the two bolts down there. Those gaskets are pretty worn, but they're not leaking. And we would normally take that apart and repair it for you, but they're bolted to the tank. So that hole, those bolts going through, they're bolted to the tank, and then the tank is mounted to the bowl, which means we'd have to take this whole thing off. What we were trying to avoid is removing this supply line, because like I say, it's all one piece. Take it off, everything starts leaking, and then it's more money to replace that valve and put a new supply line on. So we didn't want to take this tank off. So with that said, we got down there, and this packing nut down here was loose, and so we tightened it up. This guy right here, that's the packing nut. And so right now, we took your bowl out, and we've checked it. There's no water leaking. Whenever you use these valves, turn them off, turn them on, what happens is things begin to break down. Or if you don't use them for a long period of time and then you crank it, on or off, then they start dripping right here. So we just tighten that up. Like I said on the text to you, we'll tighten it up. If that takes care of it, then you're good. So it did, which is fantastic. This bolt was broken or missing, so we just put you new bolts in here. It's the only ones we had. It's tightened down. They're both in, then we just replaced this one as well because it was loose, getting ready to break. So brass bolts, so the seat is now holding on in place. So we've accomplished what you sent us to do, and then of course we didn't spend a lot of your money either. So anyways, everything here looks good. Outside of that, this installation is done.